Peace, everybody. We back at you. We coming with another one tonight. Shit, it's 𝐓 𝕋𝓱𝑒 coming to talk my shit. I got 𝐓 𝕋𝓱𝑒. What's poppin', kinfolk?
Man, what's up with you?
Hey, man, you already know, same old show, different talk. Just kicking it. And I got my bro Don Ronald Don. How you feeling, baby?
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Shit, man, I'm all right, man.
How your crew doing, man?
Everybody good, man. Just can't wait to hear y'all
That's what's up,
perspective
bro.
tonight. And then I got 𝐓 𝕋𝓱𝑒 also. How you doing?
What's popping?
All right. So we are here. So
Okay.
what we getting into? What we digging in the crates about?
So since Ron is our guest, he wanted to talk about a specific topic, and I could dig it. He wanted to talk about if you control perception, you control reality. What's y'all take on that one?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let I'm gonna let bro
You want
from
me
the
to go in?
trenches go first. Bro over there, I want him to go first because I just want to give the last take on it because it was my topic. So since it was my topic, I want to sit back and listen to what y'all got to say before I give my 2 cents on it.
All right, that's fair enough. All right, so I'm gonna go in on this because this some shit that I really do on my daily trends. So one thing that I do, and I do believe perception creates your reality, and and depending on what your perception is or what you want people to perceive you, is how they're going to view you. Don't mean that it's the correct view, because because when I read the book of Art of War, one of the main things is to never allow people to know exactly what you're thinking or what you're doing. So you give them the perception that you're over here doing this, but you actually in the opposite. You know what I mean? So it's one of those you never let your left hand know what your right hand doing type situation. So I kind of feel like it does have a lot to do with reality.
Yes, I agree.
What you think, Vinny?
I mean, yeah, your perception create reality. Uh, I don't know how to really explain it, but like it's different lanes that we can go down when we're talking about reality. The reality that we perceive as reality, or the reality that's natural, that's you know what I mean. That operate on the laws of nature.
Fact.
I think, I mean, we could confuse those two realities with truth. So it's just, I guess, how you, I guess, whatever you rooted and grounded in is how you gonna see it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes, yes, indeed.
That's like two people both seeing the six. One seeing the six, the other one seeing the nine. But they both correct.
Right. But like they say, it's what it is and what you want it to be. And
Right.
sometimes people perceive reality to be what they want it to be instead of what it is. What it is will always override what you think it is.
Mm.
That's where confusion come in at. You know.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah.
Because hold on. Because I believe right there what you said is what actually starts to create that reality in that moment. You see what I
Right.
mean? So if a
Right.
person feels like, hey, I feel like shit. A motherfucker, everybody nigga like how nigga didn't have a couple females when they were younger do them dirty like shit, hey, bitch, after these hoes gonna do me right. And I ain't asking for nothing else. You understand what I'm saying? So now his perception is nigga, listen, it don't even matter if he feel like he's worth it. He feel like motherfucker. Everybody done did me dirty before this point. I done got to this marker. Now from this day on, I'm on my bullshit. Basically, you get what I mean?
Right.
And
That's his perception.
That's the thing.
right, and this is how these realities be created, and this is why we be wondering how some niggas be super dogs and some females be super promiscuous and just outlandish with their actions. So far as with same with dudes, and I think that's one of the things that create that is how that fucking mind be thinking in the time span that they in, you know, because we all don't operate on the same time frame and timelines.
No, we all vibrate different, and that's you know, but that's where a lot of confusion in the world go because a lot of people want to stand on what they think or what they believe to be true, and throw the whole herd off track. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
That's why when you look at nature, like look at the African wild dog, the hyena, or whatever the case may be, they all, you know what I mean, operate in ranks.
Right.
So when we start dealing with uh, perception and reality and all that old different shit to start confusing shit, we all off balance. That's why we don't have no pecking order as people. Because I want to see it the way I want to see it. I don't care what's beneficial for the unit, what's beneficial, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
for the group. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's one of
Uh-huh.
the reasons why we in the situation we in now.
Right, right, right,
You know what I mean? Self-centeredness.
right,
See, a person took working on yourself to becoming like, I'm the only person I need to focus on. See,
right,
working on yourself don't mean that you got to like just shit on everybody while you doing your work. You feel me?
right.
It's not what it's about. What you
Yeah,
feel, Ron?
man.
Um, I just want to say that I like everything what everybody's saying. Um, I would like to dig a little deeper into this topic. I want to start off with speaking about a book that I read, and the name of the book is titled "The Book of Five Rings." Now, person who wrote this book, he was a master swordsman, and not only was he a master swordsman, he had like 60 something duels, and he was undefeated in all of his 60 something duels. He died undefeated. His name was Miyamoto Musashi. Now, Miyamoto Musashi, he wrote the Book of Five Rings because he felt like everything that you do in life has to do with your ability to strategize.
Fact.
And in combat, using his martial art and his sword, he became to understand that not only do I have to fight and use strategy while fighting my opponent, everything in life came with strategy. So, um, he used strategy as a means to overcome conflict. And he believed that in everything you do in life, you had to be a master of everything you did. No matter if you say that you do carpentry, then you should become a master of carpentry. You need to know all the ins and outs that has to do with that trade specifically. So in his book, he breaks each chapter down into all of the 5 elements. And you have the earth element, the fire element, the water element, the air element, and then you have ether. So, in martial arts, all of those elements can be combined, or you can use them all individually. So, for example, if someone was attacking me aggressively and he's using anger, anger being the means of fire element, and he fights like someone who hasn't been trained in any skill set whatsoever in fighting. Therefore, he has no foundation. So because that person fights wildly and he fights like a brawler compared to someone who's trained, a trained martial artist like myself, I will use the water element. Same way with my thinking. My thinking is going to be water if someone's attacking me with fire. Now, I say all that to say this. You can control your perception through reality, because when you think on a self-mastery level, like you were saying about the book of, you're reading The Art of War.
Right.
That's the same thing about Miyamoto Musashi's novel, The Book of Five Rings. Because in his book, he's teaching the art of war through the elements.
Got
Now,
you.
yeah, he's teaching it through the elements.
Okay.
So that way you're able to distinguish what type of elements there are when dealing with people. Whenever you encounter someone, that person encounters you with a specific element.
Cause
And you should be able to,
those the energies.
yeah,
Those are the energies, correct?
correct.
Got you.
Exactly. So, I perceive people through energies of elements. A person attitude, when the person screaming, that's fire element. When a person is loud talking, that's fire element. When a person is angry, that's fire element. If you got a person that's just sitting there in that room around people full of nothing but fire element, and he's able to weave through all of that, then he's flowing. Most likely, he's using one of the 2 elements, air element or water element, because fire can consume. Fire can consume. But you got to understand, water put the fire out. Unless that fire is so that it can burn underwater. And see, that's why you have hot lava, because lava can float and burn underneath water. So you have to know to understand what type of people you're dealing with. So like, I network with a lot of nonprofits in the community. So that means, I encounter a lot of people, a lot of homeless people. Um, and because I changed my life around, I also encounter people that I used to associate myself with, that I've disconnected myself with, because I know and understand that the life that I'm living right now, people just can't follow me unless you trying to follow me. If you're not trying to, I'm trying to say, then I just can't have you on my side, because it's like a crab in the bucket mentality. So I choose to not associate myself with people that I used to associate myself with. And, you know, I come across a lot of people who look at me now and they remember the old me, and they look at me and they see the new me.
But
Some people say, man,
that goes back to the topic at hand, because like that's you changing. So the perception of them is not you no more, because you done elevated to the next
exactly.
level.
And
Yes,
sometimes
that's if you
and
go
let
ahead,
me
bro.
let me intertwine something. But sometimes, right, you don't get the same reciprocal that you looking for. Because even though you may change your life and change your ways and you're doing things differently, you still got some people that still might think some of us a piece of shit, right? Like, oh, he caught all these charges, da da da. Da. You see what I'm saying? Because niggas, a lot of us are still black sheep to the family. Like nigga, can nigga shit. I go home to Tulsa, nigga. Shit, I only see my kinfolk. I don't see nobody else in that motherfucker. And this is how it be though.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And this is what we be
yeah,
saying, because people got a stigmata of you, and sometimes they'll never change. You know, that's their
exactly.
perception though. Fuck them. You know, if that's
Yeah,
how they feel.
That's their perception, but that's not your reality. That's an
You
illusion.
see what I
exactly.
mean? Yeah.
See, and that go back to what bro was saying in the beginning. You know, see, people they be lost in different dimensions. They be left in all these different dimensions because they don't know where they at mentally. So, you know, I know and understand the energies I'm dealing with whenever associated with a person, because I see the different realities. I can see that if a person can't recognize my growth and development in life, and a person can't be uh, uh, susceptible of change, if you can't accept change and you can't grow and develop, and you can't care for the next person to grow and develop, to be successful in life, then we not living the same reality, and therefore we have different perceptions. So because we have different perceptions, because that means your reality is going to cause distraction in my reality. Therefore, I'm going to fall backwards, and then I'm going to be lost in the same dimension that you in. So
Exactly. A lot of people get lost in different dimensions. And that's why when I was talking to you before, Ronald, because, same mama type shit. But we, I'm no longer there no more. In that other dimension, I was trying to make it work. Now on an elevated, I can't go back to that, because then it's messing with my peace of mind.
But
So it's certain things you got to leave in the past, because it will prevent you from elevating. Just like a dude in the street that can keep you behind. You see what I'm saying?
exactly.
Because he
Yeah.
see you doing good and he not on the level, but y'all started at the same race. Just like when you people be talking about their kids, Like, move forward if your dad been there. Move forward if your dad took you to school. Move forward if you woke up to your dad. And sometimes the parents be left behind because they never experienced that with their own biological blood.
Hey, Mr. X, you look like you got some
Yes.
shit to talk. You got some shit. You got some. Your hair look like it's steaming down that motherfucker.
Nah, man. I mean, I'm just shit enjoying the conversation, man. I'm listening to y'all. I understand what's going on, man. I
Yeah.
can go out.
He was going in hot weather, Junior. That's what he did.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Nah,
he went in on them rings and shit. I said, yo, I said that's crazy as the motherfucker because I know they got that big ass statue of that motherfucker he talking about. Yeah, I know they got that big ass statue of that motherfucker you talking about.
I mean, but I
And
mean,
he was dark too. Hmm?
yeah, not to be different, but like the dimension. I'm glad this is a dimension conversation
Yeah,
because I'm coming from another dimension, but I'm pretty sure y'all relate. That's why. Uh, and when he was talking about the elements, the fire elements, but those are a type of weapons that certain person choose to use. You know what I'm saying? That's like you have a southpaw, then you have a right-handed hitter. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
We're gonna have to stand different and like putting certain fires out. Like, you know what I mean? Like a titanium fire. You can't put water on that. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's just so that dimension is the person that you're really dealing with. So if you're not dealing with like a low vibrational person, you can't put their spirit out with certain energies. You know what I
Right.
mean? Versus dealing
Exactly.
with a vibrational person, you got to come with something totally different. That's why
Right.
they say
Mm-hmm.
jack of all trades and a master of none. Because
You
once
sound
once
like
you're jack of everything, you miss me nowhere, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I said, you sound like Musashi right there, jack of all trades.
Master of none.
Uh,
And hey, and and it's crazy you said that because I tell people this shit all the time and they be like, man, you got a master. I'm like, listen, one of the main reasons I've been able to survive this shit, and I'm telling you, man, like I've seen some shit, nigga. Like niggas don't know. I know everybody had like here we go about this perception, right? And this is what we gotta understand. Like if I wasn't there for you to see what you came up under, what you went through, family, or you, every step of the way, there's no way that I can deny anything that you're capable or incapable of in your reality because you made it this fucking far in your reality, correct?
Right.
yeah.
Correct.
So,
I mean, yeah, that's where empathy come in. At though,
see what I mean?
that's how you can come inside of a person's reality without being in their reality. You know what I mean? When you can understand outside of your understanding. That don't mean you have the experience though.
Or you
That's where you
do
gotta.
the same things that they may do.
But that's the same thing that we had on the other topic. I believe we did, or is a topic we had coming up. Every experience you like energy you receive, you do not have to receive it. You don't have to take that energy in or for your time to change your reality or your dimensions, because then you cause and bringing more problems on your level.
That's what we all do. And that's the crazy part. We all bring more problems, but that's why they say a hard head make a soft ass. Some of us that's that different energy. Some have to learn a different way. They in a different dimension. You know
Like,
what I
no,
mean?
no, that's a good one, because even with me and Ronald growing up, when we were younger, me, Ronald, and our brother, we was younger, we was together. But then it was like, soon as elementary ended or something after elementary, y'all went different ways. You see what I'm saying, Ronald?
Yeah. We all went to different dimensions.
Yeah, because y'all went to jail and I went to college.
And how about this? And look, and now we can break this down in three different ways and then go four different ways with it. Now, how about every one of us on this teleprompter right now that's kicking it? We've all went through a whole different dimension that got us right here on this time in this line right now talking this shit that we talking right now, and this is how deep this shit really get. And this is why I be
Hey,
saying
yo,
like, huh?
you ain't lying, bro. You telling the truth right now on that one.
Listen,
And then, and you got to think about it, like, because, like, even Ronald, like Rue was trying to explain to you, even though I left my parents in a different dimension, I decided to take y'all with me. You see what I'm saying? You still here talking to me. I don't give energy to nothing else that I don't, resuscitate the same energy with.
it's just the same thing as positive and negatives. Is you only want to attract the vibes that you want in your cipher. You know what I mean?
You know
And that,
what?
huh?
You know what, Rue? I like what you said, bro.
Because that's
You
it.
know why?
Why is that?
You said something about when you were saying about how we all been through something that got all of us ended up on the same road. See, I like that because I could see that in my head right now when you were saying it.
Yeah.
Like I saw it inside my mind, and I saw a maze. Is what I saw inside of my mind when you said that. That's the first
Right.
thing that came to my mind
Cause
was
that's
a
what it is.
maze.
That's exactly what this shit is we do. And guess what? Depending on if you gonna go right or left, up or down and shit. Like, you know what I mean? There's many different ratios that could have occurred that where all of this right here could have not been happening. You know what I
But
mean?
that's how that boxer was, that one, the good boxer. I forgot. I think he from Kansas or whatever. But he nice. And he went into retirement, I'm assuming. And he went on somebody podcast. He was like, 80 million wouldn't take you out of retirement? Nah, I'm good. Like, I made the money I needed to make. I did what I needed to do. I accomplished. I'm the greatest, basically. He said, man, 80 million take me out of retirement. He said, that tells me a lot about you. You see, he went to the different direction. He went
Yep.
a
All
different
right.
way.
Okay, so how do y'all feel about that? Cause I got something I want to say about that money shit. Cause this is the reason why, man. We like
Men seem like that money thing
like
is.
motherfuckers want to talk about gatekeeping. That's the niggas that's gatekeeping. Them niggas that's doing everything possible that to where niggas will be around you acting like nigga they fuck with you, but then they actually doing everything around you the opposite to keep you from getting to places. Whether it's you know what I mean. And I learned that at a young age. Like, right? Like, when I ended up catching the charge out of high school, man, I sat back and thought about it like, yo, none of these motherfuckers was hoopers. None of these motherfuckers was barely going to school.
And they got you in trouble with them.
I said, how in the fuck did I? Yo, that was a big eye opener,
It's
man.
like he basically said the trouble he got in when he caught his felon. The people that he caught it with wasn't doing nothing he was doing. Not even hooping.
So I blame myself. And I
That's what the people
always, you
gotta
feel what I'm
start.
saying?
Yeah.
And when something ain't feeling right and looking right, then that's when I
You should have never been around those people
no,
in the first place.
yeah, yeah, no.
But then
See,
we go with the
you know how
trauma bonding, like Vinny said before, because remember, even one of them in that situation, you talked them into staying in high school with y'all.
Yeah.
That's what I'm sitting there saying. So that's somebody that you like, type of person you shouldn't have never
Shit.
been around, because
And
you was never going to drop out of high school.
shit. And how about he end up getting his diploma and end up being one of the cats that snake me kind of the worst. Like so that's and that's that energy, like that fire energy and shit and that some people feel and it's crazy because it's what Ron said and Vinster. Like some motherfuckers got hate that's already seated. It's that shit is in the dirt. And to be honest, motherfucker really be just hoping it be a good reason for them to pull that shit out.
Yeah,
That,
that's
they don't even know they got hate though. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It's just embedded in them. They don't know they haters. That's
mm.
like a snitch. A snitch until they get put in a situation. That's why
Yeah,
most people they fake. Most people on this planet is fake, but everybody say they real because
right.
that's their perception
But
Yeah,
of a
but
reality that ain't real though.
yeah. There go that
But that's
perception.
the same thing with like the people that want to make it in the industry. Like, remember, it's that door. If you gonna go right, sell your soul to do that, or you gonna go home.
Okay.
And who wants to go back home?
So how about this shit? How about this shit, Ron? And
I
then you can
want
speak your wisdom. How about
to
like when we be talking about the in crowds and all of that shit? That's why I said that shit is bullshit. Cause that's all perception. Cause most of the motherfuckers who think they're in the in crowd, they lamer than them. They lame just like them motherfuckers they think is the dopest. Like that's this is in the it's up here.
Yeah.
That's their dimension. They all on the same frequency lines. This is why when we turn our walkie talkies on, we
But
don't hear they ass.
that goes back to you just need to be a good person. You need to be a genuine, real person and treat people the way your heart and soul wants to be treated back.
Shit, if they got a soul.
That's why I said
Look,
heart and soul.
look at the catch 22 today. To be a good person, you have to be mistreated. You
Yeah.
can't be a good person if you've never been mistreated. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I know.
And most people's perception is peace is not having no responsibility. You know what I mean? And sometimes your responsibility in life is going through shit. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? 'Cause most people want to avoid going through shit. They just want to have money, take trips, and enjoy the perception or the persona or the artificial life that they've created in their mind or that they receive from TV and radio. Because
Just
look at
like
how
just like the women saying that they don't need a man.
right. So let's go back to the old school rap. The old when gangster rap first started. Those those cats was really in the streets. That's why they didn't make it long. They didn't have long. They didn't have a P Diddy career. You know what I mean? They didn't have a Snoop Dogg career. You see what I'm saying? Because you gotta
yeah.
how much of a gangster can Snoop Dogg really be? Let's keep it $1. But he is one of the most famous Crips in the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How are you a famous Crip and you never did no cripping? You might have grew up in Long Beach where Crips was at, but you a studio. That's where the real word studio gangster come from. You know what I
Facts.
mean?
Facts.
Now gangsterism today is money. Tangible material things. You're tough if you have. You don't have to physically be rough and really can put them hands down no more. As long as you got a nice car, a gold chain, you know what I mean, a nice outfit on, and people like you and follow you on Instagram. You the dude.
You
That's just how
what
See,
they
simple.
what they call you
I
an
want to,
influencer.
Yeah. I want to hear what my man got to say.
yeah, I just wanted to touch on something. See, Von Sway, I was listening to one of your podcast shows called Free Game. And I heard Brody say something like, I thought I knew everything, but it turned out I ain't know nothing. And then the show ended. I'm like, oh, that was a good way to end that show. I'm like, yo, just those last words that you said, I was like, yo, because listen, I want to tell you something. Um, when we dealing with these different realities, you know, I wanna say something because I got a cousin. Um, he's homeless. This is on my dad's side of the family, and he's homeless. And you know, every single day when I go get on the bus, I gotta see my cousin laying on the ground outside, sleeping, and he just high off of whatever drug he's on. And it's been times that plenty times I walk right past my cousin and you know, he got his stem to his mouth and the flame in front of that. And he just don't even see me. And I'm talking about like, I'm like 10 inches away from him.
Whole nother
Like,
reality.
he in a whole nother reality, a whole nother dimension right now.
Fact.
You know what I mean? I'd be like, wow.
That's where that 𝐓 𝕋𝓱𝑒 come from.
Yeah, I'm
You
like, yo,
know?
my own cousin don't even see me right now. The only thing he see is that flame in the front of his stem right now.
But
You know what I mean?
but Ron, that's the same thing.
And it'd be so heartbreaking to me, you know,
You heard me,
that,
Ronald?
yeah.
I was saying, but that's the same thing that I'll be explaining to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got the same mom, different dads. But at the same time, I was telling you, them is not the same people who we think they are. Like, you know what I'm saying? They in a different dimension. They been them. That's not them.
Hey, do you
Yeah,
know?
you know, they time came and went
That's a
Shabazz.
suit they got on. That's not them. That's a suit. That's the person we see in the physical. You see what I'm saying?
I got
Hey, I
something to
got a
say about
question.
that.
Who the smartest on her? I got a question. And it ain't no disrespectful question.
Don't ask me shit, Vinny. Don't ask me shit.
I'm not singling out nobody, but I'm gonna just show y'all where we all at. And
Y'all hear me real quick?
this is where we gotta all go back to the drawing board with ourselves. Think a thought that never been thought.
Impossible.
No,
So
that's
what
not impossible.
Mm-hmm. It is.
That's not impossible.
Hold
No,
on.
it's not.
I'm gonna stop you, and then I'm gonna interject, and then I'm gonna let you
Okay,
speak
Jamar,
yours.
go ahead with the impossible, and then Ronald gonna go with that's possible.
Okay. Now, talking about those elements, we're gonna go back to them elements. See how we're gonna keep spinning them elements all the way in them. That's why I'm glad you brought them shits up. The ether, right? That's one of the most uh unspoken element that when we hear it, we wonder like, what is that, right? But you heard of the Akashic records, correct? Have y'all?
Yup.
Okay. So that's the same thing. So basically everything that's been stored in the Akashic memory of ancient memory. This is where you know how people like, man, I just got to download, man, and this is where they're bringing it from. They're coming from the ether with it. So guess what? That means that it was already up there, and depending on what frequency lines you are in, those are the ones you grab out of the ether. This is how the brain works with us. This is why when they tell us to look at our natal chart and you see how all of the everything is lined up, if you go and do a minute to tell you damn near how your life gonna play out in real time. So it's
Mm.
so when we're dealing with the ether, we're dealing with consciousness, right? So what?
Right?
We think that this shit just started what a couple thousand years ago because somebody told us it did, but it's shit that's millions of years old around us and shit. Come on, man.
So what's the
Well,
possible, Ronald?
the reason why I say this is because yeah, uh some things are old millions of years ago or thousands of years ago, and you get it through your ancestral bloodline and consciousness. But during that time, you got to know and understand that things around us change. So throughout time, and like you said, thousands of years, millions ago, I know for one thing, I can't say millions of years ago there was a such thing as an iPhone. So I can't agree with, you know, that line of thought. But I understand what you're saying. But I know someone in this day and time invented something known as an iPhone, a computer, a tablet. But I do know back in those times, they was using their consciousness as an iPhone, a MacBook
Isn't that
computer,
called telepathy or something?
telepathy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
yeah,
can't say
and
telepathy.
telekinesis.
Yeah, so you know, back then they was doing it, but it was on a different level. That's what I'm trying to explain. Now they doing it through technology. You
Oh,
know, mm,
so
Ronald,
can I interject something then? So
yeah,
is this technology that they handing us really the technology,
or it's
or
us.
are we the technology?
Yeah.
And it took
we're
you
the
outside.
technology.
Okay.
Yeah, because why do you think every time you pick up your phone, like say you pick up your phone and then you be like, oh, I'm about to get on Facebook. But I was like, man, I gotta go get them new J's that came out. Soon as you get on Facebook, here go Foot Locker with them new J's that came out.
Can I ask you a question on
Mm,
top? Hey, Kenfo. Oh shit. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no. I'm just saying, like the first line they made, the first line, look, like the first line that ever was invented in the life of where we exist now, in the lion today, in the safari. Do they hunt the same or they hunt different?
They they are the same.
Right. So they never had no artificial technology or artificial uh whatever we call this today to come interrupt their way of thinking.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So now we start thinking actually technology make us weaker vessels. Because we start
Exactly.
right.
I
So
They,
we
they
start
agree.
said they even, hey Vinny, they even said something that technology like the AI is making us lazy.
it is so like when I was in that wheelchair for 3 years, right?
It's
Mm-hmm.
programming.
My leg got weak because I quit using it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like your brain.
Yeah.
You think you're using your brain, but you're not using your brain. You know what I mean? It's almost like
They actually stealing your ideals.
right. Shit, they giving you ideas for
Yeah.
their agenda.
Stealing too, because the shit I thought the shit and then it popped up.
Mm-hmm.
You know
I
what?
mean, because they gave you a way of thinking. Go ahead.
Mm.
You
That's
know,
crazier than the best. That's
I want
crazy.
to say, you know, only reason why I'm bringing this up, because I actually went through something um when I was working in the community, when I'm out there networking with all these nonprofits, stuff like that. I asked myself a question one night. I said, wow, all these nonprofits and stuff out here in the community, you know, they're giving away everything but a shower. You know, they got all the Narcans in the world. They got hygiene, they got clothes, and they got food, and they got all these different resources for a person to go get clean. But one day I was thinking about my cousin, the same one I was just telling you about that don't even see me when he got the lighter and stem to his face. You know, I felt so bad for him one day. I tried to get him on the city bus to come with me so I could take him to my house and get him in the shower. give him some food to eat, and I'm gonna give him some vitamins and everything when he was at my house and stuff. I felt so bad for him. I wanted to help him out, put some money in his pocket and everything. But the city bus driver wouldn't let my cousin get on the bus because he smelled so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So when I said that, when I seen that, I said, you know what? All right, you can stop my cousin from being able to get a shower. I said, I got something for this. I went home and I pondered all night long, and I said, you know what? I want to start a shower center for the homeless. I want to have an actual location where people can go to take a shower. And there's so many showers in this place that almost the entire population of homeless people in the city will have access to a shower all at once, male and female. I'm not talking about no 1 and 2 showers or no 3 and 4 showers. I'm talking about a whole bunch of showers, all in one building.
Can I interject
And
something?
in the same process, you could get clean clothes, wash your clothes, charge your cell phone and everything. Because I know how it is to be home. Because I was
But you
home.
gotta also, Ronald, you see, you still in the physical. See, like that, man, you know how when people say the women in the hood, half of them done turned to crackheads, like the pretty girls turned into crackheads, they mind blown, is gone. That's not them. You still looking at the physical.
Their perception of life be
Now,
It's
bogus.
gone. Exactly. They're in a different dimension. Their body is still moving.
You be
When
trying
I
to.
told you that I was just sick and I was basically in and out of consciousness. I was in a waking coma, basically. Half of the stuff I was walking, I don't remember walking. I remember leaving um our mom house in the daytime and then walking all the way down Mount Reed and then it's dark.
Mhm.
And then I see Rue.
now see,
So
I'm not dealing with the physical.
no,
What
I'm
I'm
telling
dealing with,
you that I'm not telling you you dealing with the physical. I said you're talking about the physical. That person already probably is at peace with the people he loved. Like I thought I was I was dying, and if they took me where Jr. was at, my body probably would still be here, but my mind is with Jr. in a different dimension.
Siobhan. What I'm saying is that's the reality from the outside looking in. That's what they want me to have. But see, what I'm trying to tell you is I'm from the inside looking out. So my perception of my reality is different than what it is for somebody looking in. Now, for example, sis, now I agree with you about, my cousin, his perception of his reality or whatever.
Because
But
it's his mental, Ronald.
we
His mental, that's not even him no more.
know how
You
to look at
meaning
things.
no, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. What I'm saying is that dealing with mental health from 9 years, that is not your cousin no more. He might even come in your house and kill you, bro.
Oh,
Cause it's not
Yeah,
that
listen,
person, the mental health, the mind is gone.
you know what they said about a lot of those people that's out
I'm,
there homeless?
right now. I'm trying to get y'all to understand that I'm talking about the people who control society. That's where I'm at. I'm way past my cousin right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm all the way somewhere else.
That's what
You
I
know
was
what I'm
trying
saying?
to interject. I was trying because where you were going with it, I was going to tell you I get where you coming from, but I want you to think bigger, right? Because look at like why in the fuck do you gotta build showers in places for people, especially like veterans and shit, right? That went and fought for their country and didn't get their veterans, right, Kinfolk? Right?
Yeah.
Motherfucker they did my kinfolk family they did our family like that. Multiple families
Yep.
that fought in military. They shitted on them. And them are a lot of people who are out there homeless. And I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes people come across this information and find out how they've been treated. Some motherfuckers unplug all the way. You understand what I'm saying? Some
It's like that
motherfuckers
movie,
unplug.
it's like that movie, The Matrix, man.
That's a
Yes,
fact.
exactly.
That's a
That's
fact.
it.
They unplug out that motherfucker.
See, now what I was saying though, Siobhan, is, you know, when I'm thinking about my cousin reality, I was thinking about the reality in which people try to put place upon us.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, right.
That's where
Because
I'm at
that,
with this.
yeah, we saying the same thing, but different sides of it.
My, so I'm looking at it from this perspective. I'm like, all right, if we had an actual location where people could take a shower, don't you know what a shower, one real shower, will do to a person's mind? And see, that's where it came into play. I said, you know what? I remember the times when I couldn't take a shower and how I was feeling mentally. So, and I always remember, you know, when my mother was out there doing drugs when I was a kid, I used to always hear this saying, it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. And see, I've seen a lot of people get high, but the ones that was getting high and their perception was different of other people who was getting high. Therefore, they had a different reality compared to other people who was getting high. So what I'm trying to say is, you got people that do the same things but share different realities because they have different perceptions. So let's say like it's a person who gets high every day, who pays her bills. She don't have to go out and sell her body. She don't have to, she works a 9-to-5 job.
Functional.
But yeah, she's a functional addict versus an addict who has to sell her body, sleep with multiple men, um, you know, she's bouncing from couch to couch, you know, she's homeless, she don't know where her next meal's gonna be at. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm coming with this. You know,
Same drug, different realities.
exactly. You know what I mean? And see, you got rich. That's why they always say cocaine is a rich man drug. You know what I mean? Because only, you know, that was said back in the 80s. You know, every person who did cocaine, they all went broke. People who thought they had money, versus the people who were actually rich and using cocaine. Now, there are some stories of people who were rich and then they were broke because of their drug habits as well. So that's what I mean about, like, what was that one guy that Lil Kim was messing with, the white guy who produced all them beats and stuff like that?
It don't matter. Just tell the story.
Yeah, well, he went broke um um doing cocaine and throwing all them lavish parties and giving away expensive gifts to Lil Kim and stuff like that back in the days. See, he went broke, but you got people who can actually function with their finances and still get high. Now, there's some people who just can't do that. But, you know, they put all these things in our community to control our perception as well as
That's
our reality.
reality. Yes, that's what I'm sitting there saying.
And I want to add something with
Yeah.
that.
That one.
And I want to add something with that. How about the alcohol? How about the remember the malt liquor, right? You had guys who would just drink like Mad Dog 2020, right? Then you had some people
Yeah.
who just wanted St. Ides and Old English and shit. They ain't want shit else. You ain't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't drink nothing else, right? And then you got motherfuckers who drink the hard liquor and shit, and then you got motherfuckers who drink the whiskey and shit. Like, what the fuck? Like what the fuck? Like it's all, you know what I mean? Now, like one thing Von always be bringing me up is like, damn, it was like a wave of like everybody started drinking tequila and shit, right? And it was one of the reasons why I fell back from drinking. Cause then guess what? They started having all these recalls talking about it's stuff
Stop
they
control.
yeah, this shit is the shit ain't right. Stuff is they finding shit inside of it and stuff. So it's just like, man,
But then that goes back to the reality, like stuff in the physical that black people do. They also promote other people's shit. Like y'all going on there talking about let's go Don Julio, go Fulio. Guess what? They're poisoning Don Julio. You might got HIV/AIDS tomorrow.
we are worse.
You don't know that what they put in the liquor because y'all promoting
Hey,
what we drinking
you
online.
know what? We are worst
You
enemy.
know, I want to say something about that. You're right, Sharon, because I want to say, you know, I know you very outspoken when it comes to them COVID-19 shots, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, you know, when I was in prison when that whole COVID-19 thing happened. So I don't know how it was out here, only for what I've seen on TV, in the news and stuff like that. I seen that it was a shortage of toilet paper and all type of things, you know.
That's cause the gut. Why? Cause they say what? Cause it came from where? And then what they made everybody dumbass do? Go buy this shit up. All that put is billionaires on top further tissue.
Now motherfucker
Now,
pleading the fifth to everything.
Now they really think a doctor on there saying I plead the fifth to everything, still telling the fucking truth. They better be
and
praying.
see,
No, but where they missing? They missing the motherfucking Tuskegee experiment when they infected all them men with syphilis. Now y'all need to figure out what the fuck they injected y'all with. No disrespect, because it's
see,
not your fault because they put people like Ronald, who was in prison, made them take the shot. They made people go into their fucking savings because they got fired as doctors or nurses for years of working to lie
they
and
told
say
me,
they took shots.
they told me, you know, I did
That
108
shit
months in the
messed up.
federal penitentiary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did 108 months in the federal penitentiary for the listeners that don't know. Um, and they told me like this. They said, you can't go home without having this shot. In order for you to be released from this prison,
That's fucked up.
you have the COVID-19 shot, because if you got something from inside this prison, you can go out there and infect people. Or people out there can infect you. And then if you violate your on federal probation, then you can bring it back in here and infect everybody in the prison.
But then,
So
oh wait, because we're gonna end it
then
on
they
this.
said,
Wait, because we're gonna end it on this note. But see how the government disrupted people reality and tricked them. When in reality, a lot of people are already awake. they understand the bullshit, especially millennials. It's just a lot of older people that's still living that need to move out the way because them are the puppets of the government. That's why they were trying to inject us with shit when we was kids because we got so-called ADHD. But guess what's in now that the millennials so-called pushing out? Autism.
Yup.
You can't
That's
put
what they
it
got to deal with.
Hey,
exactly.
look at it like this. So, what type of system do we live in? I'm not into politics, but what type of system do we live in?
Right.
We live in a
A
capitalism
system
system, right?
creates false realities and false perceptions to
Right,
keep them intact.
right,
Yeah.
but in reality, that people wake up and live is a capitalism system. That's every majority of people's reality if they want to accept it or not. That's how they function, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to capitalize off of us.
Right. So they do capitalize off of you. So
Like
you
a
got to
mother.
look at people in prison. You got to look at people in prison just like you got to look at like old people. Most people in prison is worthless, right? So a capitalism system, they love spenders, people that spend their money, and they love people to what? Work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So once you can't do that no more, you no longer serve the system no value. So that's why they gave all the old people jobs and they gave all the niggas in prison jobs.
Cause
But
you
Vaughn said something earlier. My phone was muted. One thing that we really failing to realize because we was talking about drugs and how different perception, but the reality of it, that's why I say a perception can confuse us. Because the reality of it is we be having confusing conversations because we speaking physical, then we start speaking spiritual. Then we'll start speaking physical, then we'll start speaking physical. You know what I mean? But everything is spiritual. None of the physical is even real.
Fact.
And when we start creating our perception off of the physical ideas of how we see things, we stay in that rabbit hole and it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. So when you start looking at wrong is wrong, I don't care what drug you use, it's still a dark entity. You see
Fact.
what I'm saying? It's no good drug to use.